Welcome to toy-polloi. No Legos were harmed in the making of this video.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi, and today we're going to be taking a look at fixing the hands on a vintage 12-inch Kenner Star Wars Stormtrooper. Now both of my Stormtroopers here are looking a bit sort of worse for wear. In fact, the one on the left was very kindly given to me a fair few years back now by Raymond Fung, and when I got that it was all sort of yellowed and beaten like it was, and I thought it looked absolutely fantastic, which is why I ended up making a Sand Trooper sort of pauldron for it, which I've done a video on that. I'll put a link in the description if you want to do the same to yours. But there was another issue with this Stormtrooper, and that was the fact that his hands kept falling off. Now the problem with these sort of old Stormtroopers is they are made out of various different types of plastic. So we've got a sort of a rubbery plastic used on the hands, and then a much harder plastic used on the bodies. And what happens over the years is those two plastics react together, and the rubbery plastic melts the harder plastic used in the arms, and you tend to have these sort of burn marks that appear all over the figures. People actually think the figures have been burnt. If I show you this one close up, you can see we have these marks here on his chest. That is not someone burning it, that is just the plastics reacting together. Something has rested on that over this time, and you get these marks. And so what's happened with him is you can see that the two plastics in the hand have reacted together, and the hands actually fall off. If I sort of display this figure normally, these hands slowly drop out of the sockets and end up on the floor. So today I wanted to repair these sockets so that these hands fit in place and actually stay in place and can be posed again. Now this is one of those projects I'm sort of working my way through because everyone's sort of still in lockdown. I'm in lockdown here again, and we can't go out. I just have a massive little projects like this that I sort of want to do and want to fix up, and I thought this was a sort of fun afternoon jobs to do, and it should make this figure quite nice and displayable again. As you can see, he is pretty yellowed, but I really like that sort of look on him, which is why this Sand Trooper sort of pauldron works so well with him. It just looks like he's been out in the desert for a very long time. I could de-yellow him, but you know what, I really don't want to. I like the sort of Wabi Sabi nature of him, and I think that's what I'm going to do with this fix. It's going to be sort of a Wabi Sabi fix, a little bit sort of rough around the edges, but it will do the job and it will make him displayable. So let's get on with this. So let's take a closer look at the figure. So you can see this is the hand, and actually if you look close up on the hand you can see there is the residue of the other type of plastic. It just scratches off, but it does look like it has melted on, like someone has sort of heated it up. And as I say, it's really not that. It is the two plastics react together, so they sort of melt because one plastic is touching the other. And that's why often when you see these old toys they look like they have burn marks on them, or sort of lines across them. And it is just other toys have rested on them, and the plastic in the other toy has caused it to melt. It's a very common issue, but I often hear people saying, oh look, someone's burnt this with a lighter. That is not the case. It is just sort of melted, but it does look like that. So here you can see the whole end of this has melted away. What I'm going to do is I'm going to file that down, make that a little bit sort of flatter. I've already actually had a go at this because the other hand had the same thing happen to it, and I've made a new sort of replacement socket, and that one works really nicely. So I'm going to do exactly the same process on this one, and just show you how I sort of went about it. So this is the arm we're going to do, and this is the hand we're going to do, and what we need is some 1mm styrene sheet. Now you'll see me use this a lot in projects recently. It's modelling sort of styrene, so you can buy this in various thicknesses, and this is just 1mm thick. This is a fairly old sheet, so it has yellowed a bit, and I thought it would be quite nice that it wasn't so white. When you buy this stuff it is pristine white, and this one being a bit yellowed just will make it match a bit better. I could end up painting this in the end, but I have a feeling I won't. I'm just going to leave it as is. But so 1mm styrene sheet and a broken Stormtrooper. Let's get on and fix this. What I'm going to do is cut a piece of the styrene that fits exactly over this hole, and to get that sort of exactly the right shape, all I'm going to do is take the arm and I'm going to hold it onto the styrene sheet like that and draw around it with a pencil, and that will give us the exact sort of template we need. It can be a little bit rough around the edges because we can sort of fine tune this by filing the sort of the bit of styrene to shape, but doing this we'll get the basic sort of outline of what we need. So let's get drawing. And there you go, you can see it is rough, but it doesn't need to be any better than that. It's just the basic shape that we want. Now, the way the hand fits in, it would have sort of originally been clasped by the two sides of the arm coming together, and so there would have been a circle sort of in the top of it that this would have held into. But that is the bit that has melted away. So we're going to need to cut a hole into the middle of this that this hand can sit into. So I'm just going to freehand draw a circle inside this, which is about the right diameter. And it again doesn't need to be sort of massively accurate, but you want to get it roughly the sort of right size. I think that should do. It needs to be smaller than the ball joint part, but large enough that this sort of wrist section can sort of go around. I think that's going to be right. So now we can get on and cut this out. And with this, we're not going to cut out the main shape first. We're actually going to cut the inner circle out first. That way everything on the outside is supported, because it's quite a thin piece of styrene. If we cut the outside out and then try to cut the inside bit out, we'd end up damaging the outside bit or bending it in some way. So we'll cut the middle bit out first, and then we'll cut out the outer shape and fine tune everything. So let's get cutting on this middle piece. For cutting this circle out, there is a little bit of a trick. Basically, I'm going to score around the edge of it with my knife, and then I'm going to cut across a few times and quite deeply, so that we've got lots of sort of deep scores across the middle, and just a gentle cut around the edge of it. Then we can push the middle bit out, and each of those sort of wedges should come out separately, and we'll get a nice circle. If you try and cut this sort of as a circle, it's really quite hard work. So do it in this way, and it's much, much easier. As you can see, that's not too bad. It's a little bit rough around the edges, but the basic shape works, and it's going to fit quite nicely. So I've just got a little file here, and I'm going to sort of fine tune this and tidy up the edges and tidy it up to make it sort of a bit neater and a bit rounder. And then we can go ahead and work out how we can fit it, and make sure that the hand fits as well.
Toy-polloi.
I've just taken this opportunity as well to tidy up the edge of the sort of original hole where the hand goes, just because it's got quite melted and quite lumpy, and there was a lot of sort of residue on. There's also a little bit missing. You can see here it's been sort of melted more at the bottom. I'm guessing that's because that's where the hand has rested a bit more. So there's a little indent there, so I've tried to sort of flatten that out. I think I've got it sort of as near as I can. So now this should rest on the top, and with a little bit of sort of fine tuning and gluing, I think I can glue that quite flat as well. I'm going to possibly take a little bit more off that bit just so that it all sort of sits quite nicely. But you can see that is what I'm hoping for, is just a new sort of wrist element that the hand can then fit into. So I'm just going to do a final little bit more sort of modification there, just to try and hide that hole a bit. I think I can just about do that. Maybe there's going to be a slight hole at the bottom of this hand, but it shouldn't be too bad. And then we can go ahead and fit this. Now we also have one other problem, is that we need to get this ball through here, which obviously you're not going to be able to do. So I'm going to cut one edge of it. I'm just going to cut across there so that you end up with a C shape that you can open, and we can put that around this before we fit it, and that will make it fit quite sort of easily. So yeah, just one cut on the side there so that you can open this up and sort of spread it apart, and that will fit in. But let me do the final modifications to this armhole, and then we'll get everything glued in place. Okay, so let's get this fitted onto the hand, and as I say, all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut through one side of it. I think I'm going to cut through the side that's on the inside of the arm, so you can't see it if there's a slight gap. So I'll just get my knife and I'll cut through there, so you can see that that now opens. It's more like a C shape, and that should mean that I can now sort of squeeze this over the ball part, and nothing will break, like so. And you can see we've now got the elements of a new wrist hole. I think that's going to be good. And again, we'll do a test fit onto the actual arm. Yeah, that's going to be nice. So now we can glue it in place, and the trick is to glue this new piece and not glue the hand. And for that we're going to be using some plastic weld, which will work very nicely with the styrene and also works incredibly well with this harder plastic used in the main body parts of the Stormtrooper. Now the great thing with plastic weld is that it only works on some plastics, and I know for a fact it doesn't work on the rubber. So if I get some on this rubber, it's not going to glue it at all, but it will glue the other two pieces. I have a page now on toy-polloi.com called the Tool Shop, which lists a lot of the tools and sort of bits of equipment and stuff that I use in the making of my video. So if you want to get any of the pieces that I use there, go there. They are affiliate links, so I do get a little bit of money if you buy via those links, but I just thought it would be useful to put it together because so many people ask me what sort of tools and glues and equipment I use. So it's now all listed on the Tool Shop. So today we're going to be using this EMA Model Supplies plastic weld. I've got a brush here because you have to brush this stuff on. It basically melts the top surfaces of the plastic and fuses it back together like it's as good as original. So what we do is get some of that on here, and I'm just going to gently put some around the edge of this. You can allow a sort of capillary action to pull the pieces together, but if I do one edge like that, and we'll get it started, and everything should start to hold in place, and I can work my way around, and we can just brush it on the edge of it, and it will get sort of pulled into the joins and start to fuse everything together. It takes a little sort of minute or so for it to start to stick, but once it does, it really does hold well, and then you sort of have to leave it to dry. Let it evaporate really for a good hour to make sure you get a full sort of firm bond. But I think this is going to work very, very nicely, and this hand should no longer fall off the figure. And there we go, now everything has had time to dry. I've made a few little sort of minor modifications and fine tuning to the edge of it because it wasn't quite a perfect fit, but with some careful sort of squidging and pushing down as the plastic weld is working, I've managed to hide that little gap there was at the bottom, and now the hand, as you can see, moves really quite freely, and also it doesn't fall off because it is held in place very firmly, which means when I put this figure back on display, I'm no longer going to find the hand sort of having fallen out of the sockets every once in a while, which was what was happening. Now, as you can see, the plastic is not a perfect match because obviously this has aged very sort of much. It's got a real sort of yellow colour to it. I could paint this down and make it sort of match, but this is a very sort of Wabi Sabi figure for me. You can see that he's really quite battered and beaten, and I like that sort of fact that you can still see some of the repairs on him and the fact he is very worn. So I'm just going to leave it, but if you wanted to do it for yourself, you could easily paint this to match. It may be your Stormtrooper is still nice and pristine white and the hands have fallen off, so it wouldn't actually matter. But in this instance, I'm going to leave this as is and just enjoy the fact that it is a Wabi Sabi toy. And here is the Stormtrooper back with Darth Vader, and I think it really has made quite a big difference, just the fact I know that his hands are no longer going to fall off. And actually, when I've got them displayed like this, you'd barely notice that there was a repair on both of the wrists on this figure. It's very hard to spot, so I'm going to class that as a nice sort of good fix, and it's the perfect sort of fix to do while I'm in lockdown. I have all of the parts necessary, basically a sheet of styrene and some plastic weld, and I've been able to fix it, and I'm sort of slowly working through a lot of projects like this, things that don't require me to go out and go hunting for parts, so I can just sort of work on with the stuff I have to hand. And it's really been sort of good fun to actually have the time to start working on lots of projects like this. I have a whole pile of them next to me, and I'm sure many of them will end up in videos that you'll see on this channel. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I have already made a pauldron for the 12-inch Stormtroopers. I'll put a link in the description if you want to go and have a go at making those for your own Stormtroopers. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified each time I upload a new video. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.